Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is August 18th, and may not be able to tell, but even right in front of us we can see some of the little changes to the base so far. So I did not have this fluid terminal before. I don't know why not. It's pretty awesome. Basically what inspired me to get it was I needed a ender cell of something or for one of my crafts earlier, and I was like, why don't I just have a fluid cell? Because I was going to do a whole canning recipe and everything. I was like, I really don't need that right now. I don't need to make a recipe for ender or can of ender stuff. But so everything's in here and this is pretty great. It's just a long time coming. I haven't hadn't felt the need for that before. But the bigger one is this arcane crafting terminal, which I just have my old crappy iron cap wand in here. This terminal is more just if I need something one-off. I have another one set up in my magic area, which we'll get to here in a second, but I threw one up here just in case, so I didn't have to run over there if I just needed a small recipe for something. So, real quick, I'll hit the technological upgrades I did over the weekend, which is basically just one main thing, and then go into the rest of it. So over here, if we go all the way down underneath to my passive ores, see I did end up crafting all my HSSG coils. If anyone was being eagle-eyed in the last video though, you'd know that I had to make a change to be able to craft those. I originally threw the recipes in an EV assembler. That was a mistake. They need to go into an IV. And just for simplicity, I just threw it over here next to this battery, threw a dual interface on here, and good to go. Hooked all this guy up, and this one's just sharing with the vacuum. Right now, it's literally only got this one recipe in here, so I'm not really worried about too much power being used on this line. So, actually did these 52 here. I upgraded the single one I have over on the other side that I use. Usually try to keep one like a tier ahead, and then just because I was working on so much magic and nothing was crafting, I actually crafted another set of 52 for my auto crafting EBFs that I haven't installed yet, but they're just sitting in the AE system currently. You see I got 52 in there, so here soon I'll throw them over there once I start auto crafting more technological stuff again, referring to these four over here, but I'm not really worried about it right now. So what I did spend the time I played this weekend doing though was all magic stuff. And hop over here real quick and I'll be able to show you guys. So I'm actually, these little squares right here, this is more for a later thing that I'm laying out where a certain item's going to go that's not going to destroy everything when it forms, hopefully. And also this is like inside of one chunk, but we'll worry about that later. So over here, I basically the only change here, I'd energized this node a few days ago. What I did do was run the AE cable over through a relay interface and then a V relay on top. This guy then is linked to both crafting terminals. My other crafting terminal I just threw down here. And gotta tell you, if you're ever messing around, if you're in EV and you want to mess around with magic, I would sprint to this crafting terminal because it makes this and the energized node, between the two of them, it makes magic far more bearable. Because one of the reasons I was kind of dreading getting into it is just how slow it is. It's funny, I don't have an actual magic recipe in here, but I just needed some. I wanted to make some black cable for the aesthetics. But anyways, this just makes things so much better. So I basically had two goals that I wanted to get to for magic. One of them we did accomplish, which was the warding glass. I guess I should have showed while we were over there. Gonna run back real quick. Basically, my nuclear reactors, There's one set in here and then one set over here. I haven't done any of the single thorium reactors yet because those are pretty safe and stable, and I don't have any weird control circuits going on. They just have a pretty basic setup, so I'm not too worried about anything going wrong with them. But these guys, however, have a much more complex control setup. Just in case something weird happens and one of these guys goes off, say I leave the server running overnight for some reason, I don't want all my backups to be of a post reactor going off. So these guys are all this set, and then the other set that's powering the EBFs are all covered in warded glass now. This one, since I didn't plan it out as well, I ended up having to take a chunk out of the wall to make it all work. I thought about just having the brick there and then like a layer of glass on the backside, but if I ever expand that way, I feel like the side of the building will look really silly. So I don't know. This is kind of not as clean of a setup as I ultimately would have liked. I have thought about tearing it down and changing it, not just because of that, but because of the fact that I am using wireless on here when I don't really need to be. Like, I could throw the vacuum freezer over on the other side and then just run a cable over and knock out those two wireless. But like I said, main goal, made all this warded glass, and it's super easy to craft now, mainly because of that arcane terminal. I swear, if you're going into Magic, craft that first, get yourself an energized node and craft that first. You don't need to leave it running for days, but honestly, if you let it power up in the background, this guy, I think I was at something like, I'd have to double check, but I think I had like 3,000 of each aspect, and then it came down to basically a stack of each, and this is, so far, hasn't been a problem for keeping everything recharged. So I did that. Then on Saturday, basically spent a lot of the time outside, and it is very hot here, so I didn't really feel like doing mundane Magic, but I also wanted to kind of make some progress, so I expanded how much Quicksilver I have going on here. Before, I believe it was to these two rows, and then so I thought it would be ugly to just have this Quicksilver block covering the full thing. If you don't know, this guy can basically go 10 above, 5 below, and then 12 out from the center. And if you're ever not sure, like if you're not sure of the limits, you can just drop like one Quicksilver block, hit it with your Arcane Hibiscus, and like if I were to drop a single Quicksilver block right here, for example, I don't have one, but it would be like, it's not symmetrical, so you know that this guy's reading it. So I basically went instead and cleared out this area above it, so I'm going to maintain this real ceiling. I think I'm going to have more than enough stability. I don't know how much the late game crafts go, but we're a long way probably from ever having to worry about that. And just fill this in symmetrically with Quicksilver. I did this little section like this specifically because this is where the staircase down to the basement goes. So I just did this to make sure later on I don't forget about it. And if I end up filling this whole area in with Quicksilver, I already have it set up so the little staircase indent is symmetrical and don't have to worry about it. But as the bees make more Quicksilver, I'll fill this in. I think right now I have a stability of 69, which before I had a stability of like 25, something like that, so it's pretty big improvement. You can also see I have a ton of jars down here. This is again because of the arcane crafting table. Makes it so much easier to make this kind of stuff that the things I ended up crafting today, I was just spamming jars, not really worried about overflowing, because my previous setup for pulling aspects out of items was I had 2 and then at 1.3 of these alchemical furnaces and arcane alchemics. I would just throw in the items, and then any of the excess, like especially if I have, like in this case, I have a bunch of metallum now, I would just clear it out. I'm not specifically doing it now because we're very close to being able to just pull it into the ME system. But yeah, so this guy's way more stable now. Now, on to the actual crafting for the day. Nothing's in here yet, but I did set up where all my Essentia cells are going to go. Basically, I need 7 because I'm going to do 164k cell for each aspect. And then, for the moment, until the bees are ready, I'm just going to import aspects through these guys and an import bus. These import buses and export buses I crafted today. The other big thing I crafted was this infusion provider, which is pretty big recipe in itself. Nothing too crazy, but that is not. I have to look to see what that does in advance, because that's, if it's just fat. Oh, these are ZPM. Never mind. I don't need to worry about that then. But anyways, so this guy right here. Show me the other recipe. Oh, there we go. The other recipe. Need to craft these mirrors, craft this essential provider, some imports, export buses, the cores. Then this was another infusion recipe. Basically, in the AE tab, go over here. I got down here this diffusion core, the Essentia provider for the infusion. This is basically why I'm setting this up now, even though I am a long way from having the items ready for the bees to be able to pull Essentia out. Like I said, I have those bees crafted and bred and ready to go, but I need quite a bit of items, because it's I always forget what the name of it is, but it is on this guy. It is the Apimancer's Drainer, which this by itself is an infusion recipe. Takes 4 of these guys, which is an infusion recipe for 1 and decently expensive. Then we need this guy, which also another infusion recipe, and then everything else isn't. I do have these 2 going on bees passively, so we'll have those items ready. But I'm basically going to need 69 of these, or really 72. So doing this by hand, I was originally just going to say no and come back to this later, but what ended up throwing me off is, and kind of making me go down this path, and I'm kind of glad I did, because this setup's going to end up being nice. I end up running smart cables, so I'll have enough channels in here as well, instead of just 8 channels. So like I said, my 2 goals for magic, I wanted warded glass, and I wanted ender chests was my other one, or ender chests and ender tanks. But if we look at this guy, so my real bottleneck I'm finding, and maybe I'm just not reading or staying well read enough, but is this wand progression. I was really struggling to do wand progression. If we go the ender stuff, let's see, we got, I think it's this right here. Go ender chest. Ender chest. You go, so yeah, these guys 100. Nether, oops. Nether plate. Why is my keyboard not wanting to click? IV, I think it's emitter, this guy, and then obsidian. If I had been able to craft this, I would have stopped right there. You see 85 and then even sadder if I swap out. These are the best V discount stuff I can get without doing a bunch of infusions. Oh, weird. Now it works. Why wasn't that working before? Okay. Well, now I've just made a fool of myself like this. So I actually would have stopped before, because I was going to just craft screw the infusion essentia stuff. Once I can craft some ender chests, I'll just do that. But, well, clearly I can. I wonder, what did I do wrong? Was it this? Yeah. No, that's still fine. Yeah, this is well, now I just feel silly. But this is what I saw yesterday. I was like, oh man, I got 81. I'm so close. So it was like, I clearly need to progress my wands, but I couldn't quite figure out all the wand combinations I was trying, or scepter combinations I was trying, just were too expensive even for this guy. And all the ones I could do just had either 75 or 80. Like, I made this guy with a satin and twine thing because they give a even bigger discount. So I got to here and it's like, okay. So I looked around, and where I'm decided I need to go to is the inert crystal wand core into the disposable crystalline wand, and then I can just make one of these to make a real. With one of these I should be able to make a wand big enough that should cover me for I think either only one more craft away from the end of my final wand, or just the final wand I need in general. But to make this, you need, this recipe is really simple, but you have to throw it into some sort of, I can't remember what the name is, but it's basically like you basically need to take an Aurora node and use a bunch of different items to make it turn into a primal thing, and then you throw the inert wand in and then get the disposable crystalline wand out, and then I'll use this to craft a better wand, and then I was going to craft the ender chest. So now I see the ender chest. I am still going to keep going because I'm so close on at least getting the Essentia setup down there. I'm actually at the moment crafting a bunch of 64k storage components. I already have 20 crafted. I'm just doing 20 at a time because my tantalum was very low. My bee production had shut down, unfortunately, so I didn't have anything passively going, so I just like ate through my supply of that stuff. But once I craft the 69 of these, I'll make the cells, because the cells are pretty cheap, which just can be made in this arcane bench, and then I'll use the ME arcane cell workbench, lock all those into the aspects, and then between that and the fusion provider, it'll be far less frustrating to do rituals, even if I don't have it automated yet. But from what I was seeing, I pretty much need to use Steve's factory manager to do that, which I don't know how to do. But I just want to real quick shout out a video that kind of inspired me of where to start with this, because I honestly didn't even know where to start for Magic and AE, because I've never used AE before, and I've never progressed in Thaumcraft past the basics. The video was by not Threefold, although Threefold is a great Minecraft YouTuber as well, I recommend. But this guy's name's just 3 by itself spelled out, and he's got the videos automating GTNH's Thaumcraft, magical solutions to mundane monotony. Highly recommend that video. It's really good. One of the first things he recommends, though, before is this thing right here. Is another thing I crafted, is the research completer. I honestly wasn't going to bother crafting it. I didn't feel like going to grab a node and whatnot, but since I energized that node over there, I already have the empowering bees sitting around doing nothing, basically. And then as you start doing more researches, like I've spent a lot of time doing researches, and honestly, this thing being here it's just so nice. It's so convenient because I can just plop out a bunch of researches from the Thaumonomicon, especially now that I have these bloody scribing tools. Pop them in the chest, come back, do them. Unfortunately, my warp now is really high. I am kind of tempted to throw another node down far away, build this machine around it, and then just knock out all the research at once, and then do the explode the, what is it called? The Soul Brazier. You can put all your warp into this guy, drop some TNT, hop off the server, explode it, and then all your warp's gone. It's great. And I will probably do that. I know 2.8 should be sometime around the corner, and we will see. I will probably do that and not clear all my warp, because honestly warp is one of the more annoying mechanics. The last thing I did, so before I did all this and got to this point, was I actually went through the Twilight Forest. I actually finished completing out, killing all the bosses. So, actually missing one of my trophies. There should be, the last one is the Phantom Knight stuff. I don't know if he dropped a trophy though, but basically I had gotten through the Hydra. So after the Hydra, you go into one of those really the solid top woods, kill the Phantom Knights in one of the basement. then you can hop up and kill the Urghast, kill the Yeti, and then kill the Snow Queen, and that's it for the bosses. I'd actually killed the Urghast before the Knights in the Forest, and you can't pick up the chest or pull anything out of it, though you can kind of cheese it. I tried just because I was curious. You can grab the chest that he drops with all his items in it with a dolly, and then just drop the dolly outside of his protected zone and pull it out. But if you're going for the kill all the things, what's it called? Quests. If you skip this guy, then obviously none of these are going to complete on, because I went back and picked up the trophy after I went back and killed this guy and it didn't work, so I had to go kill a different Urghast. But I did that as well. So this right here is where that node is I'm talking about, where I'm going to throw it down, throw the inert crystal wand into it, and hopefully get that back. But I'm doing it here because apparently it destroys everything in the radius, and then this is just one chunk if I were to turn on the chunk borders. But yeah, that was basically it. A couple really convenient upgrades to quality of life upgrades, this research completer, and then just this terminal in general. Like I said, apparently I can get my ender chest now, so that's really cool, so I'll probably do that. And I think I might actually, as soon as I finish putting this video together, craft 2 of these, drop the miner, the multi-block miner on a mica vein, because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty low on mica. Yeah, I only got 125. And then we'll see. But my plan after that, after dropping on the mica vein, is just finish out my Essentia things. I want to get all 69 cells set up, and then do that hopefully get that done tonight, because I feel like that's going to be kind of monotonous to get that done, but worth it in the long run. And then start importing all this stuff into the cells and clear this out and go from there. Yeah, but I hope appreciate everyone for watching. I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.